Well, thank you for joining me today and taking the time to chat with me.
No problem. It's cool.
So, Nelson Chan, that's your whole name, is that right?
Yes, Chan. Same as
Right.
Jackie Chan.
Right. So, you are a very sought after Hollywood hair guru with A-list clients like Heather Graham and Lady Gaga, right?
Yes.
Now, tell me, before you became this very famous Hollywood stylist, you came from Hong Kong to the US when you were a teenager, is that right?
Yeah, I came when I was 17. Are you
17.
recording right now?
Yes.
Should I be nervous?
No. No, we're here to highlight you as an international icon.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So you came when you were 17, and what prompted the move from Hong Kong to the US?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What made you move from Hong Kong to the
Oh,
US?
okay. I mean, at that time, everyone was worried about the 97
Uh-huh.
when the Hong Kong was going back to China, to the
Right.
communists.
Right.
So, my parents, they were worried about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So they just, I was lucky I have an auntie here in United States,
Mm-hmm.
and she sponsored us to move over to United States. So
I see. So did you move here by yourself or with your parents?
no, with my parents and my sister and my brother,
Oh, okay, so the whole family then.
whole family moved. Yeah.
Right, okay. And where did you move to? What was the first city that you moved to?
Um, we went to Seattle first for a week
Uh-huh.
because so that was my first city.
Mm-hmm.
Because my auntie she lives there.
Right.
She's still living there now.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we moved to Los Angeles.
Where you are currently based
Um,
out of?
when I first moved, I was in the suburb.
Uh-huh.
I was in Covina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like about, I would say, 30 minutes east from
Uh-huh.
downtown Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because of the weather, my mom doesn't like the rainy weather in
in
San
Seattle.
Francisco. And Seattle, yeah.
Right, right. Okay. So was when you first moved to the US, was that your first time coming to the US at all?
Yes, it was. Actually, it was my first time flying, getting
Oh,
out of
wow.
here.
Okay.
hmm
Okay,
That
interesting.
was quite an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
hmm
What was your first impression of Seattle and then going to LA after just 1 week? What was your impression of the US?
Um, I remember Los Angeles is more international at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of Asian here already,
Yes.
versus
Uh-huh.
Seattle is more like American
Right.
style.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first impression. But for both cities, like and all over United States, at that I remember that everything's slower
Mm-hmm.
and it's much darker because I was living in a city. There was a lot of lights
Mm-hmm.
in Hong Kong, like the
Right.
street lights and all that.
Right.
So and then everything is smaller
Right.
when in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Everything's much bigger here.
Right.
Um, obviously we need to drive everywhere here,
Yeah.
except if you're
Yeah.
in New York or something.
Right.
But that is that's how I felt when I came.
Did you have a hard time transitioning culturally from Hong Kong to the US?
No, it was actually really fun for me because I was chasing all the blonde girls around, especially in high school. So
I
it was
see.
a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't really speak English well.
Uh-huh.
Like right now, I'm still practicing all the time.
Oh,
My
you speak very well.
my PR girl Carolyn, she
Uh,
sent me teacher to teach me how to speak English well, so I
uh-huh.
can do interviews and stuff. But
Right. Well, you speak
um,
very well.
but back then I
Uh-huh.
couldn't even understand what people were saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was the main problem. Like um, I was trying to understand what people were saying
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for like 6 months, and
6 months, right. Mm-hmm.
then things start picking up and become much easier.
Right. So when you came here, you were 17. Did you still go back to high school here, or were you thinking of college, or what was going on when you first got to LA?
I went to high school for 2 years.
Okay. So
hmm
17 to 19.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to college. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, went to high school and college at the same time.
Right. So now, when did you know that you were passionate about hairstyling and everything to do with hair? When did that come about?
I think when I was 15,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Back in Hong
ever
Kong.
since, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
I was in Hong Kong. Ever
Mm-hmm.
since I was little, I always liked art.
Uh-huh.
And I always have, it's easy for me to have a vision of creating something
Uh-huh.
just by looking at things, make things prettier.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's for hair or for clothes, for interior design and all that,
Mm-hmm.
or drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of like my passion.
Right.
Hair become more natural to me when I start. Well, I think when I was 15 and I start going to a hair salon to get my hair done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember one time when I was little, I was at the mall in Hong Kong and I walked by a hair salon
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the hairdresser was doing someone's hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just like stood there for the whole haircut when he was doing someone's hair.
Yeah.
And after that, they spotted me out. That what's that little guy is watching
Right.
me doing hair the whole time. It was kind of weird, but
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool because doing hair is not about just making things more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you have to understand how people feel at the same time. You have to bring
Right.
out the inside personality
Mm-hmm.
of that person. So that makes it a lot more interesting
Right. Right.
than just like, for example, designing a table or drawing a picture or something like that.
Right. So you went to hair school, you said, right? So that
Like
was
cosmetology.
right. That was when you were 19, right?
hmm
How many years was that when you were in school for that?
I think a year and a half. I
A
did it
year and a
really
half.
quick.
Right. And then did you go straight from the cosmetology school to the Atelier salon, or were you somewhere else first
I
prior?
cheated a lot when
Okay.
I was in beauty school.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to work at a salon when you're a student.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you don't have a license, you get in trouble if you know. But
Huh.
because there's a
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
the government don't work on those days, so they don't check. So
Okay.
I found like a Chinese salon
Mm-hmm.
that nearby. They will hire me to
Yeah.
work on Saturday and Sunday, so I make a little money.
Right.
At the same time, I learn how to do hair too.
Right. And what were you
Um,
doing at the Chinese salon?
I mean, assisting.
Uh-huh.
Everyone started like that, like
Mm-hmm.
shampooing and doing
Right.
a little blow dry here and there.
Right.
I mean, I start doing hair when I was in Hong Kong already.
Okay.
Yeah, in Hong Kong you don't need license. I don't
Right.
think I think that you still don't need license in Hong Kong.
Okay.
But yeah, so back then I was just doing like practicing shampoo. We call them
Right.
shampoo boy.
Right.
That is what I'm doing.
Right.
Mhm.
So that was at the Chinese salon on the weekends. And then when did you get to the Atelier salon? Is it Gavert? Is that how you
Yes,
pronounce it? Gavert Atelier?
it
Mm-hmm.
is a long story. I was working in a Chinese salon, and then
Right.
I realized that that is not where I want to build my career.
Sure.
So after school, I graduated, and I found a job in Pasadena,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a American hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
And then over there again, it's kind of the same thing. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't give a lot of education. I didn't think that I could grow over there so
Sure.
much.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I found a job. I went to a hair show and then I got to know people.
Mm-hmm.
And I started working, Stuart Gavert,
Mm-hmm.
which is the really famous hair colorist at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking for someone to help him out. So
Mm-hmm.
I easily got a job there. It was in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked for him for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided to open his own salon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that
Wait, whose salon was it at
it
first?
was
It wasn't his salon then?
it was his salon.
Okay.
It's called Gavert Atelier,
Uh-huh.
which is his last name, Gavert
Right.
Atelier.
Right.
Um, he asked me to be a partner
Okay.
to put money in and to help him run the salon and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I kind of get involved with Gavert Atelier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty much when I was 21, 22.
Oh, wow, very young. But so you were only with him for 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Somehow I was under the impression that you were there for 10 years, so that's not correct then.
No, not okay. 3 years when he was not a salon owner.
I
So
see,
Gilbert
okay.
Atelier wasn't open yet.
I
I was
see,
I was
okay.
at Umberto with him.
Ah, okay, okay. So
Hmm.
you were working with him at what was the name? Umberto, you said?
Umberto, yeah, which is one
Umberto.
of the biggest salon in Beverly Hills.
Okay, so you were both there for 3 years, and then you went on to open with him the Atelier Salon.
Yes,
And then you were there for 10 years, is that right?
I would say close to 10
Close
years.
to 10 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
And
say eight.
then you decided to open your own salon.
Not immediately, and then I got out of work at the other salon called Aesthetica for a few years, and then
Okay.
opened my own salon. Yeah,
Okay. So what made you finally decide to take the plunge and open your own business?
it's just timing, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Like at that time, the salon I was working at, they were closing,
Mm-hmm.
so my personality is my thing is I like to control my own career and own destiny.
Sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
if I fail, I like to fail it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I open, I see that if I go into other hair salon and work there,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have 100% of control of how I wanted things to be,
Right.
so I just happened that across the street there's a space available,
Right.
and so I just took over the whole salon space and opened my salon.
What would you say were some of the obstacles and hardships you had in opening your own salon?
That is a good question. At that time, everything was difficult.
Mm-hmm. What year was
Nothing.
that?
It was the '07,
Oh, right
2000.
before 2008 downturn.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But it didn't affect us though. I don't know why.
Hopefully
Um,
because you're in Beverly Hills.
I know. It's so funny. It didn't affect us at all.
Yeah.
But like when we were opening, the first things that I actually quickly need to learn is marketing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Marketing is extremely important, and I realize it. So I start picking up and trying to find um, like solution, like
Mm-hmm.
things that to how to market the business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was like the first things I think is the most important and become more difficult because it's not about myself
Right.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the whole team of hair
Mm-hmm.
stylists. So I need to make sure they're busy.
Sure.
So that is the one of the most important things I think that
Right. And
kind of
how did
challenging.
you manage? I mean, I'm thinking back to, when some of your fans and then young entrepreneurs in the hair field would look at your story. You were this young boy who came with your family to Hong Kong, had never been here before, and now just some years later, you've become a highly successful and sought after Hollywood stylist. Like that's pretty much the American dream, right? What you've accomplished. How did you get to that level where all these Hollywood A-list celebrities are coming to you?
Um, I think one of the thing is you just have to have a drive.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean, I'm actually just like everyone else. I started going to school,
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anyone, and didn't really know how to do hair well.
Mm-hmm.
And but
And you
I
were not American too.
yes, my English not good. I
No,
mean,
no,
it
no, that's
wasn't.
not what I mean. You speak very well. I'm just saying that
Uh,
you had an extra thing that was against one of
yeah,
your
I think
obstacles.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It in some degree it does. In LA, I don't think it's a big thing though.
Mm-hmm.
I think other city or state maybe.
Right, but
But
not in LA. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyway, I actually gone through a lot of the downtime that a
Yeah,
lot of people are facing right now. Maybe
yeah,
like there's no clients
right,
at the
right,
beginning,
right,
have no idea what to do and all that stuff.
right.
But my thing is every time when it's like difficult, every time when I look at my book, there's no client. I remember that.
Yeah,
What I really need to do is I need, you got to do something to
right,
make yourself busy. Don't
right.
depend on the client's going to just call you or just walk into the door naturally.
Sure.
So when I had no client back then, what the first things I need to do is what can I do to become busy?
Right.
So it always hits me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would just go to the agency,
Mm-hmm.
even though I didn't have a book,
Mm-hmm.
start knowing, meeting people, networking.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one couple of, like Telegram, for example. The
Mhm.
reason why she's the friends now,
Mhm.
I've done her hair for a long time, is because that is, I went to one of the agency.
Mhm.
I didn't have my book. I said, look, I work at so and so salon,
Mhm.
and I'm really passionate about doing hair.
Mhm.
I'm here if you guys need help doing models.
Mhm.
Send them over. I will take care of them,
Mhm.
and don't worry about the price and all that. I
Mhm.
just want to make sure that I can help you to run your business to make
Wow.
make you easy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a natural thing. So at the beginning, if you don't have anything to give, you
Yeah.
only have your time and your
Your
talent. That
talent,
is,
right?
you just have to give people that, and then start gaining trust. So one of
Yeah.
my friends, she's a major right now, one of the biggest Hollywood. Like she rep a lot of hairdressers.
Yeah.
She owned one of the really big agency, and her name is Tracy.
Mhm.
And she's the one who sent me Hologram.
Mhm. I see.
And same thing, I
Mhm.
got Lady Gaga
Right.
just by because I know Tracy, and Tracy
Mhm.
introduced me to a friend of her,
Right.
and and she called me one day and then go, hey Nelson, tomorrow I need someone to do Lady Gaga's color. Can you
Mhm.
do that?
Right.
So that is how I did Lady Gaga.
Right.
But the thing is, like, it's starting out from like nothing, and then you
Yeah.
just have to
Yeah.
give out your time, and then don't. One of the things is don't try to count on every single penny.
Right.
Let
Mhm.
people take advantage of you, I guess.
Interesting.
In some degree,
In the
and then
beginning, you're
yeah, I
saying,
mean,
yeah.
make sure those
Yeah.
people, they are the one that you can actually help you
By
succeed.
word of mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in certain degree, and then just let people take advantage of you. Don't
Right.
don't don't worry about that so much,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and just keep going,
That
you
is
know.
really unusual and really brilliant advice. I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're just starting out. So, what
Yeah.
you just said to summarize is that the relationships that you built were so important in getting those A-list clients. But then, of course, once you got them in the door, your talent is what keeps them coming back,
Yes,
right?
and then that's actually this day I found out that a lot of new tricks to. I mean, uh, I don't want to use the word tricks,
Hmm.
but there's a new different way to actually get
Strategies.
yeah
Yeah.
strategy to get
Yeah.
into the business. For example, um, you can for the people that they are starting out,
Yeah.
one of the good way is trying to spot out the this the star that they are just starting out, or
Oh,
the
that's a good
agent,
one.
yeah,
Right. Right.
the agents that they
Right.
just start opening up their business,
Right. Right.
and
Well,
then focusing on helping them out building their
right.
business,
Right.
and then someday somehow they will become big, and when they become big, and
That's very sweet of you to be giving this free advice to your potential competitors.
oh, I don't care. I mean,
That's
one of
very
the
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing always is when more you share, more you gain. So
Mm-hmm. Wow, very nice. So now tell me, you have created quite a few interesting hair techniques and products. First of all, I'm a huge fan of your moisture healing mask.
oh, thank
I
you.
think that is one of the best hair masks that I've ever encountered, and believe me, I have tried hundreds around the world. So yeah, that's a great product out there that I've told my fans about. Now tell me about your non-bleach highlight. For a lot of the women out there that love highlighting their hair, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Um, that one is one of the strong things that I do, or in my salon when I train every single one doing,
Hmm. Yeah.
is when we do highlight.
Hmm.
People normally use bleach,
Right.
and when we're using bleach on hair, is
Hmm.
one of the most damaging things
Right.
you can ever done to your hair.
Hmm.
It dries out your hair, opens the cuticle, and hair becomes trashy.
Hmm.
When we are using product that is much milder,
Hmm.
um, hair lightener doesn't have ammonia. It actually works the same
Hmm.
as lighten hair up, just
Hmm.
like bleach. It works much better. And knowing how to process it,
Hmm.
it make a huge difference as well.
Hmm.
So let me
Interesting.
kind of explain to you.
Yeah.
Doing hair, especially hair color, is kind of like cooking.
Yeah.
So if you're cooking, um, for example, you're making filet mignon, and you would just want to make it like a medium rare.
Uh-huh.
And so what happens is you want to actually cook it the perfect temperature
Uh-huh.
and the perfect time.
Right.
So same thing when you're doing highlight or you're bleaching or lightening up hair,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to make sure that you don't over process the
Mm-hmm.
hair. You want to get to the point that it's just right, perfect amount.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right enough, and then you wash it out.
Okay.
So by using a better product and
Right.
also timing and how you process it,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a huge difference in
Right.
terms of the saving, the making the best hair condition.
Right. Fascinating. So do you handle all aspects of the salon, as in, like, you do, obviously coloring is one of your strongest points. Do you do blowouts and cut as well?
I mainly do hair color,
Okay. Okay.
uh, but in once in a while I will do some blowout and haircut as well.
Okay. But you obviously have team members at your salon that specialize in cut and blow dry, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. So from here forward, now that you've opened this very successful and popular salon and you've come a long way from the days in Hong Kong, what are your future goals and dreams?
Um, that is a good question. Future goals and dream is I the salon I have one already,
Right.
and it's running really smooth. Everything is fine. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to grow into more of education.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we actually are planning right now, what we're going to do is educating people, hairdressers,
Mm-hmm.
from other salon or other country,
Mm-hmm.
mainly in China,
Mm-hmm.
or Taiwan or Hong Kong. Though those hairdressers, because I started out in Hong Kong,
Right.
and I understand that those hairdressers don't have a lot of experience working on different texture hair
Right.
or different
Right.
colors hair.
Right.
So that if they're actually desperate for education for how to do curly hair, like black people's hair,
Mm-hmm.
or people hair that is naturally frizzy and curly,
Mm-hmm.
or hair that is naturally blonde
Mm-hmm.
or lighter. So I think that there's a huge market,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to educate not only the hairdresser in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
and also that educate the hairdresser like in China,
Sure.
Hong Kong, and Taiwan to bring them over here
Mm-hmm.
to show them how to do different hair types and
Mm-hmm.
different people's hair.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it will make them more international because we are in a global economy now,
Right.
and
Right.
then pretty sure when they're working in the salon someday somehow they will be getting some clients there from overseas.
Sure. Sure.
So that will help them a lot from
Right.
that.
So then your goal is to become kind of like the ultimate hair consultant to all of the stylists around the world.
Yes, and also business education as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Not only how to do hair, but how to run the business, because I have been ever since that um, I opened the salon, I've been learning a lot about marketing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that I collect a lot of tips and information to you be able to share with other hairdressers
Right.
how to build their business much
Right.
quicker and much easier.
Right. Fascinating. Well, I wish you the best with that endeavor. I'm sure you will succeed in the coming years.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a little advice for
Hmm.
women with different kinds of hair. For
Hmm.
me personally, I have very long hair and it's
Hmm.
naturally wavy. And
Hmm.
as you know, I'm also Asian.
Hmm.
What is your opinion on, as women get older? So I'm in my 30s now, and I've always had very, very black hair, and I like it
Uh-huh.
that way.
Uh-huh.
Some stylists have said, well, as women get older, you should lighten your hair and not have it so dark. Do you agree or disagree with that?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
It totally depends. Most of the time when the hair is too dark,
Mm-hmm.
it actually ages that person.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it's too dark.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, you say that you like your hair dark.
Yeah, it's my
So,
natural hair color. I've never
yeah.
colored my
So
hair, so
normally
yeah.
natural hair color
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit lighter on from the mid shaft through the end. So
Okay.
if you look at your hair right now,
Mm-hmm.
the darkest color that you probably see right now is on your root, like from the scalp,
Uh-huh.
like I would say about 5 inches from your scalp.
Okay.
Scalp, like if you go from 5 inches
Uh-huh.
from your scalp, that is like the darkest, almost black color.
Yeah.
So when after that, you should see it like a little bit lighter
Mm-hmm.
from that point. So if you keep it that way, then it's beautiful. That is
Okay.
one of the most beautiful hair color.
Uh-huh.
So if you say that you want to keep it dark, keep it that way.
Yeah.
Keeps it really like a really deep, almost black from the root to the mid shaft, and then let the lightest carry through the end. So
Okay.
be like from like a medium brown to probably a slightly light brown on the end.
I don't
So
really
that.
have any brown. I mean, people tell me, and I've seen myself obviously in pictures.
Hmm.
Usually my hair looks in pictures, and from what people tell me, it's completely black, and that's how it's always been. So,
Okay. I mean, if your hair stay black,
yeah.
make sure the end doesn't get too dark. Like you're not coloring your hair right now, so you
No.
don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But someday, somehow, if you have to start coloring your hair,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you do not darken your ends.
If I ever color my hair, I will go only to you in LA.
Thank you. But yeah, make sure you don't darken the ends so much. Just
Right.
make sure it stay the same,
Right.
because the minute um, people darken the end so much, make
Mm-hmm.
it like almost black, it
Mm-hmm.
become like it doesn't look good. It's like an artificial looking
Right.
black color.
So, what's your thought on women past 40? A lot of them, like some of my friends who are over 40, they start to cut their hair shorter and shorter because they feel it's not manageable anymore having long hair. What's your thought on that?
That is trends, what is
Right.
popular at
Mm-hmm.
that time,
Mm-hmm.
and then also it depends on that person's personality. Some
Sure.
people carry shorter hair really well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not only the face shape and body shape and all that. It's
Right.
just like their personality wears it really well with short hair. My wife still have really long hair.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, once in a while we'll cut her hair really short, like above shoulder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as short as you go,
Mm-hmm.
I personally there's some guideline about that.
Right.
Either go for things that you can still put in a ponytail,
Right.
so that in case anything happen, you can still put in a pony. Especially when women's in Asia,
Yeah.
it's so hot and humid.
Right.
If you don't want to deal with it, you should just people be able to put in a ponytails.
Right.
So that is, I think, is really important. The
Right.
second thing is people if women start going for shorter, then go for something that is um, like almost a boy short. So either
Mm-hmm.
going
Mm-hmm.
for the ponytails or boy short that you don't have to do much
Right.
to it.
Right.
So that is my advice. That would be
Right.
the easy. Anything in between, unless you have a lot of time to go to the salon to get it blow out, or you're really good at doing it,
Right.
then it's totally fine. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm saying that when we do hair, we need to understand who that person is
Right.
to give them the perfect hairstyle or haircut or hair color,
Right.
because every single one is different.
Right.
It is
Right.
all about like personality and lifestyle, face shape and trends and all that. It's all
Sure.
combined together.
Sure. Sure.
And
Great.
a wonderful.
So how many weeks, how much time in advance do people need to make a reservation with you?
Um, if they need to have the time that they want,
Mm-hmm.
they need to give me a call. I would say at least 3 weeks or more.
3 weeks or more. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I wanted to know, I saw you have a Twitter handle. Are you active on Twitter?
Yeah, we are really active on Twitter.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would love to ask your advice through Twitter. So
Yeah,
I
love
will
to.
let people know about that.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Nelson. I'm really happy to be featuring you on International Icons. And
Perfect.
thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing the tips on hair care.
No problem. Anytime. Just call me.
Well, I will definitely see you soon the next trip I have to LA.
Perfect. Yeah, come over. Take
For
you out
sure. Thank you,
for
Nelson.
coffee or lunch and stuff.
For sure. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.